Hi everyone, Rick here. I'm going to talk here about what the purpose of prophecy is. I enjoy reading and listening to prophecy. It's very, well, actually it's fun. It's mentally stimulating to take the imagery that we're given through prophecy and to try to make sense out of it. The problem with that is we try to make sense out of it. That's the fun part. We love having our mental capacity stimulated, but we have to face the reality of it. Prophecy, if you look at it objectively, is like a huge jigsaw puzzle. When you have a jigsaw puzzle, you have a picture on the box of what the puzzle looks like when it's completed. The thing is we don't have that picture. We don't know what it's supposed to look like when all those pieces come together. We don't even have all the pieces. Now, the Holy Spirit may have given me some pieces, given you some pieces, given someone else some pieces. And it's through the fellowship we have with each other in which we can start fitting some pieces together and start making sense out of certain things. So what is prophecy used for if we're not meant to understand it? Well, I didn't say we weren't meant to understand it. What I meant was we're not going to understand it with our carnal mind. We're not going to see all of the pieces and how it comes together. We may see some of the things with our carnal mind, like a video I did earlier about the resurrection, but there are still many pieces missing. But I can tell you what prophecy is not. Prophecy is not fortune telling. It's not there telling the future. Okay, the numbers of prophecy, the 1,000-year reign, the 666, the 7 years of the Antichrist, none of that is literal numbers, time. Okay, these are all symbolism or metaphors, because what prophecy is, it is spiritual reality and carnal reality intertwined. God is showing us what is happening in the spirit and in the carnal through the eyes of the Spirit. It is not just a simple metaphor and of what's happening in the flesh, in the physical realm. Because if it were and God wanted us to know it, He would just flat out tell us what's going to happen. But it's a combination of the two and how they work together and to fulfill God's plan of salvation. The purpose of prophecy is for us to see it and understand it in our hearts, even though we don't understand it in our minds. When we read prophecy, we get a sense of urgency. We get a sense of seeing things in our hearts being fulfilled, seeing things starting to unfold, so that we can maintain that readiness and keep collecting that oil in our lamps, the worship and the humility we have before God, so that we won't be surprised when He returns. Now, Jesus flat out said, and He was the only person in history who had a clue as to what prophecy stood for. But even Jesus didn't have the clear picture, because He told us that He didn't even know the day or the hour of His return. That only the Father knows that. So if God didn't give Jesus that clear picture, what makes us think we can figure it out? Anyway, that's basically the purpose of prophecy, to keep us on our toes, to keep us ready so that we can be ready for His return. Remember, the Pharisees had all the prophecy that we have. And people will say, well, they didn't have the New Testament. Yes, they did, because the New Testament is the teaching of the Old, just taught in a different way. So they had everything we had. They knew the Messiah was coming. They knew He was coming in their time. They knew that He was going to deliver Israel and defeat all of Israel's enemies. They knew where He was going to come from. But what they were doing is they were taking the prophecies of His first coming and the prophecies of His second coming and putting them together and coming to wrong conclusions. So they didn't recognize Him when He came. That was through man's wisdom. And you know what? We're doing the same thing today by these so-called prophecy experts. And there's no such thing as a prophecy expert. So, that is about the clearest picture I can give about my knowledge of prophecy. The Holy Spirit has shown me a lot of the things that will not happen the way we think, and what prophecy is, and what it's used for. But He hasn't given me a whole bunch. He's given me some pieces, but I'm not going to say what those pieces are, because they're totally incomplete. But He has given me some pieces. But He has given me more of what we need to be ready for. And that's the purpose of prophecy, to be ready. Till next time, God bless.